two to the one, from the one to the three. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get no rest.
Alright, so what's going on, guys? Sidestep Kenny here. Now today, I'm coming at you guys with a story time. Let's just absolutely RKO into this story. Now today was an early dismissal day, and I'm just pumped. My adrenaline is flowing through the system. I'm ready to go home 2 hours earlier than I normally would and just party, right? So I pull up the first hour, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just letting the class go on. And we have a break because it's first and second hour. We get a break. And I went to go take my break. I went to the bathroom, defecated, and I came back to the class. And I'm sitting there, and my friend Damien, he had this little rubber wristband on that I'll put a picture on screen what they look like. But he was just shooting it at me, and I shot it back at him, and we were shooting it at each other across the room. And we stopped doing that for a second, and I kind of stand up to stretch my legs, get a tissue, you know what I'm saying, because my nose is very stuffy. I stand up, and I went to go get a tissue, and as I'm going back to my seat, I turn behind me, and I see Damien, okay, and this other kid. This kid's like 6'3", double Damien's size. He's literally double his size. And they're just both pushing each other, like full-on mosh pit mode. That's what they were doing. And I start laughing at this because I think this is funny. Seeing Damien push up on some guy that is double his size, I think that is hilarious. So I start crying laughing. And the teacher, she turns around and she goes, oh my god, you're getting into a physical altercation in my classroom. And I'm still crying laughing. At this point, I'm sitting in my seat just laughing, having a ball, right? And she sits Damien down, and Damien was kind of kneeling on his seat. Damien sits in the back of the class. We have tables, and Damien sits in one of those chairs. I'll put a picture on screen, one of these chairs in the back of the class. And he kept on kneeling on there. She was like, sit down, and he was just kneeling on there. And she kept on yelling at him to sit down, and he was just kneeling on the seat. And I'm laughing even more because Damien's just not sitting, and I think it is very funny. So she's trying to deal with these two kids, and she has to deal with me laughing, literally menace to society. Anyway, I'm sitting there crying laughing, and she turns around, and I was sitting in the back two chairs of my table, and she was standing in the front two chairs of my table. She points at me, and she yells, by the way. You are a prime example of what is wrong with society. You laughing? Kind of does like a little like dance thing. I'm like, dude. Anyway, she was like, doing this little dance thing. Yeah, you should be up there breaking them up. And I'm crying even more. I think this is so funny. And I said, I was like, okay, there's no reason to yell at me about it, dude. Take a breather. And she kind of calls the assistant principal. He comes through. He takes both of them out. And I went to go get a tissue. Because if you can't tell, my nose is a little stuffy. And she comes back into the classroom. She goes, oh, Sidestep Kenny, sit down. You're wandering around the classroom. And I'm like, I'm literally trying to get a tissue. I grabbed a tissue box, and she grabs it at the same time, and I'm trying to get a tissue, and she makes me pull out like 50 tissues, and I blow my nose, and she's like, sit down. I'm like, I'm just trying to blow my nose. I'm trying to get a tissue so I can blow my nose, and she's still yelling at me, sit down, and I went and go sit down, and she's like yelling more. She was just yelling a whole lot. I don't know what her problem was. It's probably because I'm black. Anyway, she's like, you wasted all those tissues. And I'm like, no, you wasted them. If you wouldn't have grabbed those tissues from me, I wouldn't have had pulled that much out. You wasted them. And she was like, you're something. Sidestep Kenny, you're something. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So we kind of all sit there, and I'm laughing, obviously, because I still think this is so funny. And class goes on. The class ends. And I walk out of the classroom. I said, see ya. And I left. Now, my homeboy, the big one, the double Damien-sized kid, I saw him, like, we have the same class together in Essentials, and I saw him, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? And he didn't say anything to me. I think he kind of got in trouble for it. But Damien, I literally didn't see him for the rest of the day. I haven't seen him yet. He probably got an in-school suspension. But yeah, that's the story for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys in the next video. Yeah, what's wrong with today's society?